Greetings, podcast listeners. In this short episode, I'll be speaking about the Spanish-American War. Let's begin with its origin, the Cuban War of Independence. Cuban rebels had been fighting the Spanish for independence since 1868 when they revolted against their oppressive Spanish rulers. Uprisings across the island led to the Spanish sending a military force to the island to suppress the revolt. To isolate the rebels, the Spanish introduced their reconcentrado policy. Rural communities were forced to move to camps close to Spanish army bases. It is estimated that around 200,000 Cubans, including many women and children, died of starvation and disease inside these camps. Americans viewed Spanish rulers in Cuba as undemocratic, although they were mostly neutral in the Civil War, as the American economy was highly invested in Cuba, and intense opposition to the Spanish could cause them problems. However, American businesses were being threatened by Cuba's fight for independence, so President McKinley attempted to persuade Spain to reform governing methods, but Spain publicly rejected this attempt. Therefore, an American warship, the USS Maine, was sent to Cuba with the aim of protecting American citizens and businesses in Havana after Cuban rebels had damaged property in the capital city. However, on 15th of February 1898, the USS Maine exploded whilst moored in Havana harbor, killing 258 American sailors. Although the US government did not believe it was deliberate action by Spanish forces, many American newspapers, such as the New York Journal and the New York World, quickly accused the Spanish of being behind the explosion, claiming it had been caught by a Spanish mine or torpedo. President McKinley wished to find a diplomatic solution to the rising tensions following the sinking of the Maine. However, by 1898, an aggressive media campaign meant that to save face and keep a strong public image, President McKinley formally declared war on Spain. Overall, there are a few causes to this war. 1. Americans supported the Cuban rebels in their fight for independence from Spain, so it was a humanitarian mission to help them. 2. The US wished to protect their business and strategic interests in Cuba and Central America. 3. Spain rejected the US attempts at mediation and recommendations to reform their governing of Cuba. 4. Exaggerated news reports, such as that of the USS Maine explosion, increased the support for war. The war was short-lived. The US destroyed the Spanish fleets at Manila and Santiago, while the Cuban freedom fighters were supported by US soldiers. In the end, Spain was forced to surrender and sign the Treaty of Paris. The treaty ceded Cuba, the Philippines, Puerto Rico, and Guam to USA, making the USA an imperial power. In 1901, US Congress passed the Platt Amendment to the Cuban Constitution, which gave the USA control over Cuban international, financial, and commercial affairs.